Where there are no lions, hyenas rule. Wouldn't you agree, madam?
This is Scotty and Andrew, and you're listening to Fun with Horror.
Hello, I'm Scotty.
And I'm Andrew.
Oh, I'm Bryan.
Welcome to episode number 154 of Fun with Horror, the most wholesome horror movie podcast in the entire world. This is the podcast in which two long-distance best friends, now three long-distance best friends, keep in touch by taking turns giving each other horror movies to watch and discuss.
Last time, it was me, and I chose the very new movie, The Rule of Jenny Pin. But, of course...
You have to say that in a New Zealand accent.
The Rule of Jenny Pin, you know? Is it better?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Wow. There you go. You know, you got to end every sentence with a little up at the end. What? There you go. Anyway.
Did you know this?
Wow. So,
oh boy.
Full confession, everybody. Andrew is actually New Zealandish. And he's been putting on an American accent this entire time for 153 episodes. It's amazing.
It's true. I'm very excited to finally be myself.
How do we know you're not Australian?
Yeah, it's mixed, but I always thought your American accent was pretty bad, so it's good to see you being
I
your
was
real
shocked
self.
no one else commented. Thank you, Bryan. Man, yeah.
You're welcome.
I didn't want to say anything because you're my best friend.
That's fair.
You can finish your spiel.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, stick around. At the end, we're going to have someone pick the next movie, but I won't say who yet.
Spoilers, it's not Bryan.
It's not.
I was going to be
Sorry,
like, whoa.
Bryan. Yeah, right?
Put a lot of faith in me, huh? All right.
But hey, so as people can hear, we have a special guest with us this week, Andrew.
We do.
What is his name? Say
This is
his
Bryan.
name.
Oh. Heisenberg? No. This is Bryan. Bryan from Chuddle the Pod.
That's it. Hi, thanks for having me. You said
There
it.
it is.
I said it
You said
good,
it correctly, too.
Wow, he pronounced it right.
I did.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
But no,
I-
thank you for having me. I'm
I
happy
would've
to be doing
I would have
this.
said brain.
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 That's what it is.
I,
No, thank
I've
you
had
for-
someone call me that before.
Have
Or
you?
they didn't call me that. They wrote that out when they were trying to write a message to me. My name's not even spelled with a Y. It's Bryan with an I. It's Bryan with a Y, but they still spelled brain.
Wow. Wow.
So that was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. That was
amazing.
fun. Fun with
Right?
Bryan. Fun with
Fun
brain.
with Bryan.
I would say hanging with Brain because I just feel like.
Oh.
Well, wait, never mind.
sounds-
Yeah.
Getting away from the wholesome.
So fun fact, everybody. Oh yeah, Bryan, you got to try and remain wholesome this entire podcast.
It's right here. It's right here. I have a big message in front of me. You can't see it. That says stay wholesome.
I can't remember if it was you or Sam that ruined it last time.
I think it was Sam. I'm going to blame it on Sam. It was Sam.
Sam.
So this is very momentous. I think that's the right word, but because I've been on Chuddle the Pod. Chuddle the Pod has been on Fun with Horror, some combinations of Bryan and Sam and Ross. This is the first time that Andrew has talked with a member of Chuddle the Pod, even though they know him.
Right. And I them,
exciting.
but yes, yeah, I know this is exciting. I'm really happy you're here. I know when Scotty mentioned this, I was like, oh, like finally, yes, awesome. Like I can actually say hi to you and visit with you. So I'm really happy you're here. Thank you for coming.
I do appreciate it. It's fun to be doing this. If anyone out there listens to our show, you may know that I have not been on episodes lately, just due to some personal stuff going on. But I took the opportunity when Scotty kind of just shot it out there for me to jump on this and see what. It's like, you know what? I think that would be fun and wholesome. to jump on there and be a good distraction from everyday life. So again, thank you for having me. I'm excited to hang out for a little bit, chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. We're excited. This is awesome.
I even took a shower for this one.
And I can
Wow.
tell. Usually I'm always like, boy, you are grungy, buddy. But you know what? God bless
You're
you.
looking
You can
rough,
see the stink
Scotty.
lines. Uh-huh.
Like, ugh.
There's like little cartoon wavy lines coming off me with flies.
Yeah.
hmm What's
love
that?
that.
What's that? The Peanuts
Pig-
character,
Pigpen?
Dirtbag or whatever.
Pigpen. Dirtbag.
I love Dirtbag way more than Pigpen.
I think Pigpen grew up into Dirtbag, probably.
Although I do kind of think Pigpen fits our movie this week a little bit better.
Okay.
Pigpen.
I did that on purpose.
Oh, Pigpen.
Do it, Andrew.
Yeah.
Say it.
Pigpen.
There it is. Wait, but real quick, guys, before we get to the movie, Andrew, you and I
yeah.
have some business to discuss.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We have
That's
some
right.
Spotify comments.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So once again, everybody, you can leave questions or comments on Spotify. Evidently, there's limitations to the number of words you can use, which we're going to find out right now. But Cody Johnstone, or it might be Cody Johnston. That's okay. Whatever. Cody, let us know if we pronounce it or if I pronounced it wrong. I'm just going to say we to blame Bryan. He wrote on our Presents episode, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Presents, that movie?
Was that the gifts? Something about gifts? Presents? Oh, presents.
Yes, gifts.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I do remember that one.
Presents.
Presents. Yeah. I know.
The French film.
Yeah.
Bryan, did you see Presents?
You know I saw Pressance. I saw Pressance with your favorite Colby.
You haven't said it on the podcast yet.
Oh,
I'm asking for the benefit of our listeners.
I
You
get
see
it.
what I'm
I get it because
saying?
you are a professional. Yes, I saw Pressance in the theater in Brooklyn, New York City.
And you saw it with our good friend Colby Does Horror.
And another buddy of ours, Mike, who they have their own podcast too, the Horror Junkies.
Yes, I think we've mentioned the Horror Junkies a while back because they left a review for us and we said some nice things. They're really cool guys.
Yeah.
Unless you tell us that he wasn't that cool.
Nah, he's been cool. I've met him a couple times now, and it's worked out well
good.
so far.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
Okay. Ooh, we may have been canceled, so.
Did you like Pressance?
I did like Pressance.
Okay, good. We will not spoil Pressance because Andrew and I talked about it 1 episode ago. No, 2 episodes ago. Thank you. 2 episodes ago, we talked about Presents. So go listen to that, and then we'll spoil it for you there. But Cody wrote this, and this is wonderful. He wrote, "Hands down, my new favorite podcast. You guys are killing it. I listen to podcast episodes to decide if a movie is worth watching, and the amount of details you give is perfect, just enough to know what happens, but then I still learn plenty, much more watching the movie. The conversation between you both flows so good throughout the episodes, and the love for each other is definitely felt. Not looking forward to when I run out of old episodes and only get 1 a week." But he continues because evidently he ran out of characters. So on our A Serbian Film episode, wink, wink, he said, he came back and he wrote another comment. He said, "Ran out of characters on my other comment. Just want to add, I know it's a bit overdone by podcasters, but I'd love to hear your opinions on John Carpenter's The Thing, one of my all-time favorite movies. Thanks for the entertainment, fellas. It's much appreciated. Hopefully, I got all that in under 3 minutes." 3 minutes.
Because you're a thing.
Cody, you came in just under 3 minutes.
I mean,
That's amazing.
it was close, but it was right there.
And
Well
you know
done.
what? Kurt Russell, I was texting him earlier this morning, and he said, "I like that Cody kid." What?
I thought Kurt Russell was here for a second.
That's all he said.
Yeah, that's all he said.
That's it.
Just got a random text from Kurt Russell. Huh? Happens.
It's a weird Saturday.
Cody, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was an amazing 2 comments. Like, I'm going to consider it 1 comment since you ran out of characters, but that's amazing.
That was really sweet. That was really sweet. Thank you. That was awesome. I really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Now, keep in mind, Cody, I just don't want you to get disappointed, but keep in mind that we are bi-weekly now. So
yes.
Sometimes we have episodes weekly, but usually it's bi-weekly.
And that love you talked about between the two of us is fake. Completely
what?
fake. Yeah,
What?
I don't like Scotty at all. Like I just
So everybody, I'd like to introduce you to the new co-host of Fun with Horror, Bryan from Chuddle the Pod.
Hey,
Oh.
thanks. It's Bryan from Fun with Horror, I believe.
Oh wow.
Bryan from Fun with Horror.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love you.
It's
I
good to
love you,
be
Bryan.
here. Oh, I love you too.
I'm kidding. I love you guys. Thanks both.
Thanks for having me. Andrew,
Yes.
we also have a new review on Apple Podcasts.
We do?
Yeah. Would you like to read it to us?
All right. The title, it says, I love being able to write reviews. And the person that said it is The Long Man, but instead of an E, it's a 3. So it's
Clever.
The Long Man. I love it. And it says, wholesome and fun. Love these boys. I just wish Colby was in this review.
What
We all
callback
do.
to Colby?
We all do.
Oh, that reviewer sounds like an intelligent and I might add very handsome person.
Oh, I think he is.
I would say so too. Just reading it, I went, "Wow, I can see this person. It's golden. I mean, just perfection."
Yeah. Dashing, but we may never know who it is.
Yeah, honestly, wild.
Crazy.
Which leads me to my next item of business. I'd like to introduce you all to our next co-host of Fun with Horror, Colby Does Horror. Just kidding. He's not.
But that would be
Ah,
cool.
damn it.
Andrew, who rules? Who rules Fun with Horror?
Jenny Pin.
Want to play, Stefan? Want to play the game? Who rules?
Jenny.
Not you. The judge. Who rules, Stefan?
The Rule of Jenny Pin was directed by James Ashcroft, and it was written by Eli Kent and James Ashcroft, and it's based on a short story written by Owen Marshall. It stars Geoffrey Rush as Stephen Mortensen. It stars George Henare as Tony Garfield, and John Lithgow as Dave Creeley. But of course, the main star of this film was Pluto the cat, which was played by Marbles.
Amazing. Yes.
Look at that.
Before we spoil this movie, Andrew,
Yeah.
let's hand it off to Bryan. Bryan, without spoilers, what did you think of The Rule of Jenny Pin?
This is certainly a movie that exists. It's a well-made movie with some great actors in it. It didn't necessarily tickle my fancy a lot, but it's something. I don't know. I don't want to like get too spoilery on what I care for and didn't care for out of it, but yeah, it
So
kind of hit
kinda
mid-range for me,
so-so?
I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andrew,
Yeah.
what did you think of The Rule of Jenny Pin since you picked this movie?
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't know what to expect going into this one, but sitting through it, I really enjoyed this movie. I had a lot of fun with it, so I liked
You
it.
really enjoyed it. Okay.
Yeah. What about you, buddy?
Well, I've, as usual, I watched it twice. The first time I definitely had some issues with it, but I still thought it was a very, like Bryan said, a very well-made movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely has some incredible acting in it because, of course, when you get Geoffrey Rush and John Lithgow in a movie, it's going to be amazing acting.
Right.
I had some issues, and for the most part, on a rewatch, I think a lot of those issues kind of went away, but some of them remain, and we'll get into that. So there you have it.
All right. I like it. Look at that.
Look at that. But there's our opinions, and that means it's time
boy.
for us to spoil this movie. So, everybody, if you have not seen The Rule of Jenny Pin, which at this moment that we're recording this, it's on Shudder. I was going to say Spotify, but no, Shudder.
Listen to the
Their
audio
first
version.
Yeah, right.
It is on Shudder, so you can go watch it. But here we go. We're about to spoil the rule of Jenny Pin, which means one thing, and I am I am going to take out not a 20-sided die, Andrew. There are 3 of us, so this week I'm only going to roll a 10-sided die.
Is it orange?
Let's find out. Hang on.
Can I guess the color?
Please.
Yeah, go ahead. What color?
I
do
would
you
like
think
to
it is?
guess maybe it's like a sparkly, somewhere between purple and blue.
It's
Ooh.
it's digital, so they don't really do sparkly, but it's it's
They
pink.
could. It seems like digital. They could make it super sparkly.
Wow, that's true.
That's true.
Sorry.
Wow, I'm so disappointed in Google's dice roll now.
Right?
It's Google. I'll write a letter, handwritten letter to them.
Strongly worded.
Dice game. Strongly worded.
Please. Please.
Well, so I'm gonna roll this. If it's get ready for this, guys.
Oh, gosh.
If it's 1, 4, or 7,
Oh, jeez.
Andrew will be doing it. If it's 2, you don't have to write it down.
I'm writing it down.
I'll remember. If it's 2, 5, or 8, I'll do it. And if it's 3, 6, or 9, Brian's gonna do it. If it's
Really?
a 10,
Those are good
we'll
numbers.
re-roll.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm hoping for a 10 just to see what happens.
We'll all do it at the same time.
Right? Oh, no.
All right.
Oh,
Andrew, I am rolling the lucky 10-sided die, the pink one. And
Let's have
you tell me
Bryan
when
stop it. I want Bryan to
tell-
stop it. He's our guest. Yeah.
Oh, Brian, tell me when to stop.
is it rolling? We're rolling.
I'm
Are we
rolling it.
You're rolling
Over and
You're
over
rolling?
again,
Stop.
All right. Tell me when to stop again because it was a 10.
Oh, of course.
We're all buying lotto
All
tickets today.
Yeah, you're gonna go ahead and stop it right now.
Well, it's a 2, which means I guess I'm doing it.
Thank you, guys.
Wow.
Just as I planned it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bryan.
So, Andrew, you just tell me when you're ready. Brian, you tell me when you're ready. Guys, just tell me. I'm not ready for this.
I mean, I do want you to know that I did contact John Lithgow, who I have
John
met.
Lithgow?
I did. And we'll
And I was
talk
in
about
contact
that.
with Geoffrey Rush as well. So
No way.
yeah, at the
Did
same
they-
time. That's crazy.
That is weird.
What did
John,
he say?
Yeah, I was going to say, John wanted Scotty to do this. He asked me personally if I would not do it because he wanted to hear Scotty. What did Jeff say to you?
Same thing. Jeff, as I like to call him, said to me, but he's like, I hope you don't get it. I really want to hear what Scotty has to say. And he was hoping that you were pantsless too, so it works out.
Wow, what a gift. What a gift.
That's like a
Sorry,
nice
I just-
callback to the crying game.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh.
that was on
Oh.
purpose?
yeah.
Crying game reference, everybody. I hope everybody out there gets it.
Yep, if that was on your bingo sheet. Well done. Well
Oh,
done.
that's fun.
But yeah, they said whenever you're ready, take it
Wow.
away.
That's a lot of pressure. 2 of the greatest actors ever.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
The rule of Jenny Pin starts with a judge named Stephen Mortensen, played by Geoffrey Rush, and he is adjudicating a case. And while he's adjudicating it, he has a massive stroke. He ends up going to a care home where older people are, and he's very difficult as a patient. He figures that he's going to rehabilitate. He's going to get his movement in his arm back and everything, and then he's just going to go back to his life. We meet George. No, not George. We meet Tony Garfield, his roommate, who is an ex-rugby star. And this movie does take place in New Zealand, where Andrew lives. So keep that in mind. Eventually, we meet a man named George Creeley, played by John Lithgow. Now, George at the beginning seems just like a little bit of an aloof type person, but we eventually come to realize that George kind of runs this care home. He terrorizes all of the residents of this home, unbeknownst to the care workers. All the care workers think that he's just this harmless, kind of off guy that is not all there. So he comes into their room. He terrorizes Stefan. He terrorizes Tony. He does this thing where he's got a hand puppet, and that's Jenny Pin, everybody. Jenny Pin is his hand puppet, and that was important. I should have mentioned that earlier. But yeah, he's always got this little doll hand puppet on his hand, and he comes up to people, and we don't really see him do it to other people, but he does it to Tony, where he says, "Who rules this place?" Or he just says, "Who rules?" Right?
I think he just says, "Who rules?"
Who rules Bartertown is what he says. And he then turns his wrist backwards and has the person lick the back of their wrist, which is the same as licking Jenny Pin's butthole. So that happens. Eventually, so Stefan considers himself much smarter than most of the people there, and he tries to complain about Dave. It doesn't work. Dave is always one step ahead of him. At one point, though, Stefan does try to empty out all of Dave Creeley's asthma bottles. It almost kills him, but it doesn't. Another important fact about this movie is that Dave is not just a terrorizer. He actually allows these people to die. He pretty much murders other residents of this care home, and he does it in ways that look like accidents. For instance, one guy is dying in his room, and Dave sees the open door. He sees the guy, but instead of helping him, he just shuts the door. Next thing you know, the guy's dead. He lets this old woman out of the grounds. It's really sad, and then she falls into a big puddle and drowns. Things like this happen. Eventually, though, in this war between Stefan and Dave, let's see. So it comes to this head where Stefan almost kills Dave, but doesn't. And then there's this scene in a room, which we'll get into later. But basically, Dave ends up making Stefan stroke it really much worse. And then he gets the better of Stefan. He comes into Stefan's room and he does the whole "who rules" thing. And then Stefan eventually licks his Jenny Pin's butthole. But then Tony and Stefan get together. They lure Dave into the laundry room and they suffocate him with sheets. And that is the end. The care home lives happily ever after. Jenny Pin is burned on a grill, I think, or an outdoor fire pit type thing. And the cat, who we'll talk about, Pluto, the cat, looks up at Stefan Mortensen in his wheelchair as the blind guy who constantly tells everybody what time it is with his little machine walks by, and it says, "It is now 12:30," and the credits roll.
Dude, just look at that. Just under 3 minutes.
Oh my
Whoa.
God.
Whoa.
Close one.
I was sweating bullets.
You should be, but you did great. You did great.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will text John after this and let him know to be excited for this episode.
I'm going to still tell Jeff to come after you.
Oh, yay.
He actually told me, he's like, I hope he kind of goes long on that explanation because he really likes hearing about himself. So the fact that you didn't, sorry. I could have told you that beforehand, but part of the
Geoffrey
game.
likes hearing about himself.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant I like hearing about myself. I was about to get really defensive. And
Well.
And start. Yeah. Yeah, no. Jeffrey, Mr. Jeffrey Rush.
Mr. Rush.
Very into himself. You heard it here.
So I'm gonna start by telling the sweet story. Last episode, after we did our last episode, or no, whatever. Last weekend, Andrew watched The Rule of Jenny Pin before me.
He did.
And he sent me a text and he's like, "Buddy, if you have any questions when you watch this movie, text me and I will answer you right away." Which, first of all, is amazing because Andrew usually waits like 3 days before answering texts.
Sometimes 4.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But then I watched the movie, and I think it was like maybe 20 minutes into the movie, I realized what my dear boy, what he was telling me to text him about, which is that there's a cat in this movie. Pluto the cat, who they never name in the movie, but he's named in the credits, right?
Yes.
Andrew knew that as soon as I saw this cat, I would be worried about the cat.
Yeah.
Of course.
But of course, I go to the site that we are not sponsors of. This is not a sponsored episode, but doesthedogdie.com.
Yes.
I went there. I looked up the rule of Jenny Penn. I immediately saw that the cat is okay, does not die. So,
Yes. Well, I was worried. I didn't want you to be stressed because I'm like, the second you see that cat, I know what's going to go through your mind. And I was like, I don't want you to, but I didn't want to spoil anything either. So that's why I text you like, you got a question? Just let me know. I will do it.
I did almost throw my TV across the room.
No.
But yeah, I didn't. It's all good. We're all good.
Okay.
Doesthedogdie.com saved it.
Good. Okay.
Real quick, Bryan, have you seen Dr. Sleep?
No.
You have not seen Dr. Sleep. Okay.
No. Sorry. Did I just ruin it?
Well, no, it's okay. We'll be very vague. But the cat, let's talk about this cat for a second.
Oh, right. Okay. I was like, where are you going with this? Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yep,
the
yep,
cat.
Yep. Yes. Yep.
Now, I didn't look up the short story to see if there's a cat in the short story.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should have, like, especially with Bryan here, and we're supposed to be professional.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So sorry.
I'm okay with this one. Whatever, you're okay on this.
So anyway, Andrew, what did you think about the cat? Why was the cat even there?
Yeah, I kind of had that wonder too of, I know, is this cat here as like a sign for something or is it there, as sort of, because I know a lot of, residents in kind of some elder homes that may have Alzheimer's or any other disease. They have what is there? They have dolls and they have pets and they have things that kind of just help out. And so I didn't know maybe if it was like the kind of the resident cat that's there for just to give comfort and just help people out. So that was kind of, I think, what I took from when I saw the cat through the movie. But yeah, what about you?
Well, Bryan, did you get anything else from this cat by the time the movie ended?
I felt like the cat approved of Geoffrey Rush's taking out of Jonathan Lithgow. I don't know. I mean, did I get anything out of the cat? No. Did I think much of it? Like, I don't know what it would have been used as I don't know. It feels intentional, but I don't know what that intent is. Like, is it just a cat hanging out? I'm fine with it either way. I like the cat. The cat was good.
Well, my friends, I am happy to tell you that on a second watch of this movie, it turns out that the cat is kind of a precursor to death. Every time the cat appears, somebody dies.
Right.
Okay.
The residents kind of feel this way because, as you saw, at one point, the cat jumps up on a chair in between two of them, and they both get up right away, and they move away from the cat.
Right. Okay.
Which made me really sad for the cat. But I was like, oh. There is one moment in the movie where the cat does not precursor a death or whatever the word I'm looking for is.
I think that works.
When Dave, after the whole asthma inhaler thing, and Dave is not around, we see the cat one time. And that's the only time we see the cat when there's not a death, except for the very end. So the very end of the movie, the cat appears, and on a second viewing, I was like, well, does this mean that Stefan is about to die? Or the blind guy that tells the time all the time, is he about to die? Or is the curse broken because Dave is now gone?
I got nothing, but I like that. And
I don't know if you're going to get into this point earlier, but I wonder if it was somehow related to the short story in some aspect. Either you got more out of the cat or the cat's mentioned. So they're like, ooh, let's put the cat in I don't know. I feel like the cat had to have been in the short story, and that was something involving the reasoning here. I like your thought process behind it. I can see that as a thing, but that would lead me to believe that whoever it's going up to at the end is, I would say, in line to die next. I don't know if the psycho, I would say that is the cat psychic? Like, or did it have like a tie to Dave's character somehow? So that you got me thinking all these cat questions now. I went out of this movie not thinking about the cat besides that was a cute cat. Now you got me on cat
And this whole episode is going to be about the cat now.
That's right.
So,
or was the cat there almost as like, well, no, because it's before a death. Because I was going to say maybe it was there for like Dave's death as, well, he just died. I'm here.
Yeah, no, he was there before that. He was
Right.
there before the guy at the beginning that set himself on fire. He was
Well.
there every single time Dave let somebody die or killed somebody. The cat showed up briefly ahead of time,
Okay.
and then at the end, the cat appears before they kill Dave.
Unless it's there for Jenny Penn, because the cat's there and then he throws the doll on the fire.
But the cat's there after the doll is on fire.
Ah, gosh darn
Yeah.
it.
They're all gathered in the room.
Thought I had it.
I'll text Jeff.
Yeah,
See if he knows. I'll see if I get a response before the episode's over.
Jeff. Not Geoffrey, but Jeff.
No.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
Jeff.
they're close. They hang out.
Yeah, real
All
close.
right?
So I was going to ask if the cat was either inspired by Dr. Sleep or if Dr. Sleep was inspired by the cat, because there is a similar cat mechanic in that story. And that's not a spoiler. It's just part of the book and part of the movie.
Well, I don't have to watch or read it now. Thanks.
That's true.
I know there's a
That's true.
cat.
I just
Yep.
I ruined it for Bryan.
I'm out.
And everyone listening that doesn't know it.
Speaking of ruining things, Bryan, so you thought this movie was so-so.
Okay.
What a segue.
What a segue.
Yeah, interesting,
I
yeah.
love my segues. I love segues.
You
It's
do.
the best. So what bothered you about this movie? Let's talk about our quibbles.
Yeah.
I don't think, well, that's the thing. I don't think anything bothered me. Just my interest wasn't there. I wasn't fully invested in it. I was like, I don't want to say it was like, it wasn't predictable by any means, but I'm like, I could understand what we're doing with this story more or less. And it didn't, I guess the ending didn't really surprise me by any means or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, again, it was entertaining enough to go through, look at, and I knew about this movie for a little bit now because back in October, I went to a film fest here. We got a bunch of screeners and stuff. I didn't get one for this, but this was playing. I had the option to try to go check it out way back then, but didn't as well. So it's always been on my mind. And I was like, yeah, it delivered in terms of like the two powerhouse actors that you have in there. Like, going against each other and doing what they're doing there. But for whatever reason, yeah, it just didn't grip me.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's valid.
Yeah.
I get that.
Andrew, did you have any quibbles with this movie?
I don't know if I'd call them quibbles, but just thoughts of, are you going to get away with that? So the first one is the guy at the beginning that does set himself on fire. I saw that as that was Creeley put something in his drink because he spits it out. He goes, "Bleh." He drinks his, and I was like, is that like gasoline or something? Because he's smoking and he's like, I want a drink. And Geoffrey Rush says, no. And then he takes a sip and then Geoffrey Rush goes off and then we see the guy catch fire. So something was clearly in that drink to make him spit it out. And I go, if it was like gasoline or something that's going to catch him on fire like that, I was like, well, that's hard to hide. You know, people are going to look at that and go, why did he catch fire? Like, he did not spontaneously combust. Something happened. Let's research this.
Well, let's talk about this part because I don't think Creeley was involved in that one, even though that would be because they didn't give any hints.
Right.
And
okay.
if they had given like a hint, like if we go back and watch the movie a second time and we notice that Creeley is inside the building just like watching with his little doll,
Right.
that would be pretty cool, but I didn't see him.
Okay.
I think the guy it was just alcohol. He's drinking alcohol. He's drinking hard liquor.
Right.
And then he's smoking and he spills on himself and then he drops the cigarette in his lap. And the cigarette caught the alcohol on fire. I think that was just a really horrible accident.
But the weird part was he does spit that drink out when he takes a sip. And I mean, this is probably he probably knows his liquor. He's got his flask, you know.
This
He's
is
got
a
his
plot.
flask. He knows his stuff. So I don't know.
But he was also coughing. Like he was coughing because of the smoke and he was like
Okay,
So
maybe
he,
I
like-
misread it then.
he took a sip. He's coughing because of his smoke lungs or whatever and spit out a bunch of his drink and then he went back to drinking and smoking and then just like dropped his cigarette
All right.
butt on himself. I don't know.
No, I like that. Then I'm not gonna. Again, that was a question. I wouldn't call it a quibble. It was just like However, the other one would be that they do murder Creeley at the end, And they, my thought is like, I mean, you murdered a guy, you're gonna get caught. I mean, it's not a weird, I don't know. It just didn't feel like it was a weird death, They're gonna do some research, I think, unless the people there hate Creeley and they're like, whoops, he died.
I don't know.
I don't know.
This place seemed to not be that attentive to things going on there.
That's
I
fair.
think they're just going to chalk it up to, I think he wandered into this room and the towels fell on him and he suffocated or something.
Yeah,
That would be my quibble is, the attentiveness of this nursing home team, the whole place is interesting. And I guess Dave's ability to just roam so freely.
Right. Well, and we do see that he had,
I mean,
he'd been there as a worker. So I'm for years and
okay,
years
so
and
that's
years.
what
So maybe
it was.
he was like,
maybe I missed that.
They're just like, Creeley, he can.
Yeah, he can just do what he wants. Yeah,
Do
sure.
what he
That
wants.
his
His dad owns the place, or I don't know. Who knows?
Andrew's kind of touching on my problem with the movie too, which was not as much of a problem during a second viewing when I was paying close attention to everything, but definitely my first viewing, I was thinking, how the hell is he getting away with all of this?
Right.
Like, he is terrorizing this entire care home. The only person that seems to be complaining is Stefan. It's that kind of trope where you have somebody terrorizing somebody else, but making it look like they're the crazy person.
Right.
They're the one with the problems, like Pacific Heights or Single White Female or,
Right.
Fatal Attraction, I guess. I don't know. It was just frustrating to me. And upon a second viewing, yes, I'm still confused about the fact that who is this guy? Because there's the scene that you mentioned, Andrew, where Stefan is wheeling down the hall. And I say wheeling because he's in a wheelchair. I don't mean to be insensitive.
No, right.
To wheelchaired people.
Yes.
But he's moving down this hallway. And he keeps seeing these pictures of staff photos. And
Throughout
Dave
the years,
is always standing behind. Yeah, throughout the years, all the way back to like 1935 or some crap like that. He's been there forever. So I'm like, I would have liked a little bit more backstory there. Okay, so he worked there and then he's just been there so long that he became somebody that lives there. He made enough money working there that, I don't know. That was a little bit off to me. There was not enough background given to make me really believe that Dave was getting away with all this.
Right.
I know they made it a point to show that when he did talk to the caretakers there, he just came off as like this aloof old guy. You know? Like when the lady is talking to him outside, he just like puts Ginny Pin up and he's like, oh, like he doesn't answer her questions. He just like, So to a point, they don't believe that he's capable of something like that.
Right.
But man, like there's just so much. And when it got to the point where he grabbed Stefan's wheelchair, rolled him into that room and knocked him over. And then he was about to I don't know what he was about to do, but he moved the blind guy away and then he was taking the poor old lady's clothes off.
Right.
Very disturbing.
Yeah.
Not wholesome.
Not wholesome.
No.
Not going to do anything wholesome. Well, I'll tell you that.
You're right.
But then Stefan gets up. He hits Dave with the cane and stops him. Of course, that's the moment everybody comes in. And I'm just like, come on. It was just kind of an eye roll moment. Like, really?
I get that.
Like, you walk in now and you think that Stefan's the cause of all this, like, oh, come on, guys. It's just a little bit, pushing. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and I get that. And I almost wondered, too, if, the villain in this is obviously Creeley, but also kind of the real horrors that do happen in life is sometimes there are, and again, this isn't everywhere, but there are a lot of times where there's elder abuse that happens at these places. And I almost wonder if that was used, too, during these moments of, this kind of stuff happens. Not crazy like Creeley, but these moments where people aren't believed or they are abused by the workers or they aren't, So I almost thought maybe that was part of the quote-unquote horror of this as well. But
I'd say more neglectful than abusive.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen movies about abusive care homes and stuff, but this just seemed like maybe the people were just a little bit, whatever. They'll be fine, I don't know.
Yeah.
Bryan, how'd you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say you would think Stefan would have some level of credibility being like this longtime judge.
True.
I don't. Does he not have family or anything like that? The judge character. Do we even mention anything? Because that was one of the other things I was wondering about. I'm like, why isn't there any?
He does mention that.
Because
when he's talking to when he talks to his roommate, he says, "You have family. Like people should believe you," and almost implying like, "I don't have anybody, but you do. Like, why aren't you telling anybody about this?" And that's when he says, because everyone remembers that one doctor where something bad happened to him. Not all the good he did, but So I think
What a story that was.
Whoa. Yeah.
Which that was the other thing. Like, why doesn't Tony say anything? But when I listened again to that story, I was like, I get it.
It seems like there's so many people that don't say anything. Sorry.
No, it's
all
true.
these people. It's only Stefan that finally. And then I don't remember if when Dave throws the urine on Stefan or whatever, was that their first quibble? I don't remember if they had much before that. Especially being seen by anyone else, because I'm wondering why would he makes this accusation is like, Dave came in and did this to me. Why the staff would be so quickly to just be like, that's BS. Again, going back to the fact that this is a judge, like obviously he did have a stroke, but I don't.
Well,
it's just that the nursing staff. I'm just that's my you're right. They are the main villain here. They could have prevented so much here, and that's just my biggest quibble. And think of how much could have been solved if they had at least 2 security cameras in that place. Just down one hallway.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Or why didn't anybody have iPhone or a cell phone that they could like why couldn't he record something on his phone?
And they clearly had their emergency buttons. Why did no one else? Like, I get that a lot of the residents have been scared into being afraid of him at this point and don't want to talk up, but can't always have been that. There's someone who wants these. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm going to get to that in a second, because in defense of the story, my frustrations come later in the movie, and it's just the whole frustration of somebody making another person look crazy and the people not believing the sane person. Mm-hmm. But at the beginning of the movie, the part you're talking about with the urine, that is Dave's first interaction with Stefan. And Stefan is the new guy. Dave, I mean, they've seen each other, but this is Dave's first attempt to start to teach Stefan who rules this care home.
Jenny Penn.
Now, Jenny Penn.
Bryan,
there's not too much behind the scenes on this, but there is one thing that the director said that's very interesting, and it makes a lot of sense. He said that the movie is ultimately about tyranny and the rise of a dictator in the least likely of places.
Okay, yeah.
And that is one thing I thought about, not so much that exactly, but I did think about how people are gaslit and are scared. I mean, we just had a story this past week where somebody said she was scared of the president, and that's why more of the people that are on that side of the political spectrum don't speak up against him.
Right.
I'm not going to get too political now, but that was actually said. So you do have this scenario in this nursing home or in this care home where there is a guy that has terrified the residents of this home enough that they don't speak up, and they all have their various reasons. And Tony's is that he is a famous rugby player who is very well liked and respected, and his grandkids love him. He tells this story of a newscaster who was out with a dominatrix and got a item lodged in his hind end, if you will. And that's all anybody remembers, because that story came out. Right. And that's all anybody remembers of that guy after he died. They don't remember how awesome he was as a weatherman. They just remember the dildo in his butt, So Tony didn't want that to happen to him. So I get Tony, and I assume everybody else had their own reasons,
Yeah. Well, also, I do want to say, sorry, and John Lithgow he's a big guy. He's like 6'7" in real life, and he's like,
Yeah.
I mean, the way he's kicking Geoffrey in that one scene, like he's strong. He's an intimidating guy as well, and strong. So it makes it tough as well for some of these, elderly folks who are probably more fragile than this character, being a little nervous, going, he could easily break an arm and then make it look like, an accident. I mean, he's an intimidating guy. So
Yeah. And to Bryan's other point, the other thing that I hate accepting, but we have to accept as part of the story is that even though he's a well-known judge, Stefan he's an a-hole. He is an absolute prick to these people.
Yes.
And so he doesn't come across as the kind of person that somebody wants to listen to. They just think he's being... And then, of course, when they ask Tony about it, he's like, I don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
And he says that because Stefan was mean to him, too. So
Right.
that was my main issue with the movie. It sounds like we all kind of felt the same thing to a degree, different degrees.
I agree. Yeah.
But how about that acting, huh?
Real quick,
Yeah.
if I may, I got a story for y'all.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, story
So,
time.
I texted
Story
Scotty
time with
this
Andrew.
last. I texted Scotty this last week, just an image of a blurry thing, and I said, I got a show and tell for you, but you have to wait. So I'm gonna take you back a few years. First thing I want to mention is my mom, God rest her soul, used to be a scrapbooker. I need to say that because what I'm going to show you, you're going to appreciate. Or actually, I'm hoping you just laugh at it because it's so ridiculous. But she was a scrapbooker. There's your preface. Years ago, I think I was in 5th grade, a girl at my school, believe it or not, in my tiny town in Montana of, 2,000 people, her uncle is John Lithgow. Which is...
What?
Yeah. Wild, right? Through marriage. So it's like her mom's sister married John Lithgow.
She was married to John Lithgow, her uncle?
That's right. So welcome to Montana. No.
Hey, sorry to any Montanans
They're fine.
listening right now.
We're all related. They can laugh at it. So
It's their family. It's fine.
we're all cousins.
Some guy's going to write a review. I'm from Montana. I don't agree with that at all.
And I'll be like, hey, first cousin, stop.
Barely related.
Barely.
I'm joking. No, that's my home state. I can tease. So her uncle's John Lithgow. Weird, right? Random, goofy, crazy. Well, and I think he still is, but at the time he was also writing children's books, which is amazing just to see him as this character, but as writing children's books, and they were all great. There was like Marsupial Sue, I think was the name of one of them. I know it is. Anyway, so at one point, he comes to Conrad, Montana, this little town I'm from, to read some of his books to the kids, and he does it at our theater, our tiny little town theater, and reads these books, and then stays after to sign things, and is just what a cool human. My best friend at the time, his name was Jason, who does listen to the show. Hi, Jason. One of the funniest people ever. He makes us these shirts. It's John Lithgow, and surrounding him are all of his movies. And it says, I'm not worthy of John Lithgow. I love this guy. We're in 5th grade. He just is the funniest human. And we wear them, and we go and meet John Lithgow afterward. And again, John Lithgow is the sweetest, kindest human being I've ever met. He signed everyone's stuff. He talked with everybody, got to know everyone. My mom had 20 books, and she's like, you don't have to sign all these. He's like, I'd be more than happy to, and signed 20 books. I mean, it was crazy. Well, me and Jason get there with our shirts, and he just busts out laughing. He thinks it's the funniest thing, these silly goofball shirts, and signs them, and is just a gem. So here we go. Let me show you this. Again, my mom was a scrapbooker. It's a beast.
This is going to go over so well on a podcast.
I know. So there's the shirt.
It's the shirt. It's the signed shirt
with his
framed.
signed. Yep. And there's a picture down there of me and Jason right next to it getting our shirt signed. It's kind of hard to see.
Oh, that's
I know. Maybe
amazing.
I tell you what, I'll post a picture of this for our Facebook so then we can show off.
Please do.
There's his other
there's
stuff signed.
John Lithgow in the middle. There's the poster for Footloose.
There's
and
the
Shrek.
little booklet about it. There's one of his books right there. just all sorts of stuff. So my mom scrapbooked that poster. But yeah, I had to bring that
awesome.
and I was out and I was like, I gotta show you guys because it's so ridiculous and so silly. But all to say, John Lithgow is just one of the sweetest people in the world. There you go.
That's great because he's definitely scary in this. I don't know if you're familiar with Dexter and his role that he played in Dexter, but
Oh, yes.
that
We
was
are.
phenomenal.
Oh, yes.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Great
so
stuff
good.
there. I mean, as a small town preacher that doesn't like dancing, great job there. Good.
Yeah.
He's always playing the best bad guys.
Fighting against Stallone, you know, as the crazy bad guy in Cliffhanger. Always fun.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Let's not
Yep.
forget
Classic.
Lizardo in Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Whoa. Yes.
There you
That's
go.
one of my favorite roles by John Lithgow.
Yes. Oh man, I forgot about Buckaroo Banzai with the Peter
Peter
Weller. Thank you. Peter Weller. Thank you.
RoboCop himself, or
Heck yeah.
RoboCouch, as Ryan calls him.
Yeah, that's true. RoboCouch.
That's an inside joke there, everybody. You're not going to get it.
I'm sure y'all loved it. You want more inside jokes? How about we just do inside jokes for the rest of the podcast?
Done.
Nobody is going to understand.
I hope to be part of
perfect.
some.
Which we part of one day.
And then we have Geoffrey Rush,
Yeah.
Captain Barbossa himself.
Just gonna say it, man. I was just gonna say
Mm-hmm,
Barbossa.
I thought you were going to say from Crying Game.
No, I wasn't gonna
I mean, that's the first time I ever saw Geoffrey Rush, and I need to look this up because what if I'm getting this wrong? But he was in Crying Game, right, guys?
Sure.
Yeah, I think wasn't he? I mean, he was the main.
Scotty.
Yeah, hopefully.
He was the Crying Game.
Right.
Wait, no, he wasn't. I'm so wrong, guys. I'm so wrong. It was
yeah, it's all
Stephen
you.
Rea.
Oh boy.
Oh, way off.
wow.
Guys, look up this guy, though. Look up Stephen Rea and tell me he doesn't look like Geoffrey Rush.
Okay.
All right. I'm looking now. I gotta. Let's see.
It takes a second. Gotta pull it up. Oh yeah, Stephen Ray.
can see
That's
that.
totally Geoffrey.
Yeah,
Rush.
I can see that.
So
I can see it,
basically,
yeah.
what we're saying is Geoffrey Rush has only been in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies and nothing else.
The King's Speech. I remember him from that.
No, just Pirates of the. That was Stephen Rea.
Anything else you think that Geoffrey Rush was in? It was Stephen Ray.
It was Stephen Rea.
Oh man, I'm
Oh.
so sad. I've been making all these Crying Game references, and it wasn't even Geoffrey Rush.
I just thought you really
I've
loved the
just
movie.
been going with it. Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's your favorite
It's like,
movie.
you're the
Crying
expert
Game.
here. I'm leaving.
It was
Yeah.
a good movie. It was a good movie. And then Jay Davidson went on to star in Stargate. So there you go.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Which
There
starred.
you go.
Kurt Russell.
I'm sure somehow we could connect Stephen Ray to Geoffrey Rush somehow. I'm sure there's some degrees of separation.
yeah, right.
I was going to
Well-
say James Spader was in Stargate, and James Spader was probably in a movie with Geoffrey Rush at some point.
There you
Right.
go. And Kevin Bacon. Let's throw them all in.
Footloose.
Hey, there we go.
Perfect.
There we go. Anyway. How about that dancing scene, guys?
I actually really
Wait,
I
liked
mean-
it.
Okay, wait. First of all, I just said that dancing scene. Brian, which scene came to your mind?
Well, I don't know. There's one where he's jumping around and slapping his legs, and isn't that the one where he has like a little episode with his inhaler?
Yes. Andrew,
Yeah.
what
That-
scene did you think of?
I was thinking of when he's ballroom dancing with all the couples, and they're all like moving out of his way because he's, being himself.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
I love that. I love that I said the dancing scene, and both of you guys thought of a different scene because they're both valid. You're both valid, guys.
Right, that's true.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm glad
You
to
are
see that
loved.
he is dancing after his anti-dance stance.
Right? Yeah, that's a real song, Knees Up Mother Brown,
Oh,
The
funny.
one that-
Okay.
that Creeley dances to
Mm.
a couple times. And that was just impressive. Like, just to see John Lithgow get so physical
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Because I think he's like 79,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
He's up there. So that was really good.
Yeah.
I also have no idea if the teeth were fake.
I think so.
I was curious. I would think so. I don't think a man in Hollywood for that long would have teeth like that.
I tend to agree.
Yeah. I think they were not real.
Lo and behold, that's his teeth, and we're just like, I don't think those terrible teeth could be real. He's probably listening right now.
Right?
Yeah,
Uncle John.
Andrew's going to get a text pretty soon.
I am.
and then Geoffrey Rush will text Bryan and say, "Hey, thank you guys for not mentioning my teeth."
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Don't
we're
worry,
at
Jeff.
it, though.
I got you. But while we're there. Yeah, no, I'd say shout out to everyone in this film for allowing themselves to be exposed up so closely in a lot of moments. Very intimate stuff with
Yes.
Yeah.
their
Absolutely.
bodies, their face, their teeth, all of that stuff.
Very true.
The cinematography was incredible.
No, I agree.
I think for me, I think the best part of this movie was the way it was shot. It was shot by a guy named Matt Henley, who worked with James Ashcroft, the director, on a movie called Coming Home in the Dark, which I've never heard of or seen.
Nope.
But I assume James Ashcroft, I'm pretty sure he's a New Zealand director. A lot of his movies are from New Zealand, so it would be weird if he wasn't a New Zealand director.
It adds up.
Yeah.
Actually, when I mentioned the dancing scene, I thought about Dave's knees up Mother Brown scene, but I was talking about that scene where they're all having a dance and he just starts walking through
Yep.
and bumping into everybody. I
With
thought
Jenny.
that was incredibly well shot. Yeah,
Mhm.
we got to talk about Jenny Pin, right?
We do have to talk. I
No,
feel like if
of
we
course.
Bryan, what'd you think of Jenny Pin herself? What'd you think of that
She's
doll?
a lovely young lady. I will gladly follow the rule of Jenny Penn.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't want to get Lithgowed. That dude's huge. Like we said, like that. I'll lick the little doll's boohoo, and it's so funny. Yeah, like,
I like that. A boohoo.
Wow.
I also like that you used Lithgow as a verb. Like we're gonna get
like
Lithgow.
something. Yeah. You don't want to get Lithgowed.
You don't want to get Lithgow.
You've been in his presence.
I've been there. I don't want to.
Wow, did you get Lithgowed?
I didn't. No, the shirt saved me for sure.
Okay, thank
Yes.
God.
Good. Andy, I don't think he had the doll with him at the time. It was a creepy little thing. I liked it. It's effective.
We also forgot about John Lithgow in the amazing Pet Sematary remake.
That's
He
right.
was in that. Yeah,
Mm.
which I have talked about on Fun with Horror with our friend Stanley. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
which
Of
we've still
the-
got to do the last
Oh,
Pet
right.
Sematary movie at some point, but
Called.
we'll get there.
Mhm.
Oh, man. So I know Andrew,
Hi.
did you pick this movie because of the doll?
Yeah, partly because of the doll, partly because it was, two powerhouse actors. And that's one thing that you know about me, and is that I really do watch the movies for, of course, story, cinema, everything. They're, cinematography, everything, but I really, really focus on the acting. And so I knew that both of them were in it, and I was pretty excited to see these two clash.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but you've said many times on this podcast that you love dolls. in
I do,
movies.
and that definitely was
like
part of
creepy
it.
dolls.
For sure. Yes, that was definitely part of it. Yes.
One of your top 10 favorite horror movies of all time is the movie Dolls.
Heck yeah, it is. Freaking love that
So-
movie.
So I was excited for you when I saw Jenny Pin.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing I want to ask you both. Did you know what the name of the movie meant, either of you,
No, I didn't.
before watching it?
No, had no idea. I thought it was going to be like some New Zealand thing.
I love that. I actually loved not knowing what the title meant and then finding out that it was Jenny Pin on Dave Creeley's hand ruling over everybody in the care facility.
Yes.
I thought that was awesome. And I loved Jenny Pin as a prop, as a character, as a mechanic in the movie.
Mhm.
I thought it was genius the way that they would film that doll with light coming in through the
Yeah.
back of the doll's head so that the eyes glowed.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd seen stuff beforehand of the doll or in like little whatever, and I thought it did have glowing eyes based on what I saw before, but just
Nice. Yeah.
I was happy to see that it didn't. That it was a more simple doll, almost very basic looking. I think is what was effective about it. It wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't too much.
Agreed.
Which it could have been.
But the fact that they just kept showing it just made it creepier than it would normally be. And it was just, oh, man. And when Stefan had like the dream sequences where there's this huge Jenny Pinhead rising up next to his bed.
Jenny Pin, comma, head.
I chuckled.
Oh.
Instead of a pinhead, like from
From
Hellraiser. I don't know.
Oh, right,
Jenny
Hellraiser.
Yeah. Horror.
Pinhead.
Horror.
Oh yeah, I love horror. Oh yeah,
You guys watch horror movies?
I'm that character right now.
Oh, man. I'm surprised. I'm just going to say an aside here. I see lots of comments, reviews on other podcasts where people are like, they do this horror podcast and they don't even know, they've never even seen that movie. Something like that, you know?
Oh God.
And we've never gotten comments like that, and I'm so happy.
Now we
Now
will.
we're going to get one.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks. Scott.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yep. You just manifested that real quick.
Yeah.
But we've always said that we are not horror movie experts.
True.
We are just fans of horror who have fun with horror
In a wholesome way.
in a wholesome way.
Aw.
Ah, yes. Son
Anyway.
of a gun.
Yeah, back to the movie, right? One scene I really loved. I love hakas.
Yeah.
When Maori people do hakas, and it was so heartbreaking and so good when Tony finally found some strength and he stood up to Dave for a moment and tried to do the haka. Then he couldn't because his body is just old and achy.
Yeah. That was a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wonderful scene.
I enjoyed it.
One thought I had during my second viewing, and you guys can tell me what you think of this. I thought that the ending where they actually killed Dave by smothering him was a little bit anticlimactic. And I feel like I would have rather somehow that scene be changed out with the asthma scene, where maybe they try and smother him and they think he's dead, but they leave, but he's not, and he shows up again. And then at the end of the movie, they kill him finally by emptying out all his asthma bottles.
I could agree with that. That seems to have more of the poetic justice, like that it felt. Yeah, that has a better feeling to the death, and that could also solve your murder problem.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you both just said. Yeah. That would be more effective.
As always, Hollywood, I am here to revise your screenplays anytime. Just Scotty with fun with horror.
There you go.
New Zealand too,
That's how I want to be credited. New Zealand too. Yeah, Hollywood in New Zealand.
Yes.
exclusively.
Oh, if I could have
Nowhere
gotten
else.
my hands on those Lord of the Rings scripts.
Oh.
They made zero money and did not do well. Not well received.
They would
First
have been
off,
successful.
Get rid of these Hobbit things. Don't know what those are. They're out of here.
And where was the nudity? I mean, come on,
Right.
guys.
Give me some couple laser guns. Like, come on.
Even Avatar had more nudity. Come on. Avatar, perfect
Maybe
movie.
I should watch Avatar now. I've never seen
perfect.
it.
Avatar, The Way of Water, even more perfect.
Wow.
That's odd.
I'm just talking here, guys.
Just Avatar.
Killing time. We got to hit that.
Killing time. What'd you guys think of the music? Anything? Did you think of the music?
I didn't on this one. It didn't really
No.
hit me.
Well, funny enough, there is nobody credited as the composer of the score, at least on IMDb, and I didn't notice anybody in the credits of the movie. I know that there is some like background hum type music at times.
Weird.
Maybe that's considered special effects, sound effects. I don't know.
Interesting. I'd have to like watch it again to even now I'm like, was there no music? Like, what? Huh.
Right.
All right.
Well-
So this movie just went down a whole star for me. Now that I know there's no music, because I love music.
there's
scores,
songs.
guys.
I know.
But there's no score, yeah.
There are songs, and I would like a soundtrack with nothing, but
With
Knees Up,
nothing?
Mother Brown.
You just want a soundtrack that has nothing on it?
no, nothing but Knees Up, Mother Brown. That's what
yeah.
I want in a soundtrack. You know, we can have John Lithgow sing it. We can have Jenny Pintano sing it, who I don't think is a real person.
Jenny Pin
I'm curious.
Tano.
So Dave, when he puts the record on,
Mm-hmm.
he mentions, the record actually mentions Jenny Pintano, and that's where he got the name Jenny Pin for his doll.
There we go. Full circle.
Did you not catch that?
I did not catch that at all.
Look at that. Well, so that's about, I think we've said everything there is to say about this movie.
Yeah.
You ready for 3 questions, Bryan?
Yes.
Oh, wait, I am going to say one thing.
Uh-oh.
The scene in the bathtub.
Oh,
The scene in the bathtub when the lady leaves him, the caretaker leaves him.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed very inspired by The Shining to me. The way the bathtub was framed in the picture, I don't know. It could be a reach.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I
sure.
can see it.
But
sure.
I kept thinking of the bathtub scene in The Shining,
Oh,
which is very wholesome.
that scene did scare me a little. Like, no, I mean, yes, from The Shining, but this, where it was like, it was under there a little too long, where I went, okay. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
And I couldn't tell if he was playing with the idea of killing himself or if he just honestly thought he would have the strength to reemerge from the water.
Mm-mm.
I honestly kind of thought that's what it was. That's what I took it as, was that he was like he was going to try to actually kill himself
Mm-hmm.
and then couldn't. And then it started turning into he was going to die. And then there was that struggle that, for life or whatever. But I guess that's how I took it.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I do too.
Cool. See ya.
Thanks, Bryan.
The final thing I'll say real quick, because that also brought up the other behind the scenes thing that I have, which is, it's kind of cool. All of the caretaker actors, they actually trained at an actual care facility. So there you
That's cool. That's fun.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's neat. That's
I like
neat.
that.
I don't want to go to the care facility they trained at.
That's a very good point.
Oh, yeah, patients, they'll just wander around at light. We let them do that. You just got to let them do their thing.
Yeah. We've had like 9 deaths this week. Pretty standard. Pretty standard.
It's normal. You get used to it. I will say also, at the end of the day, you could look at this as a buddy picture as well of 2 people becoming friends. It's about,
Absolutely.
and overcoming. And it's a little bit more fun that way.
That's true. Similar to how our
Love that.
friendship started, Scotty. Very similar.
Yeah.
Aw.
Remember when
Yeah.
we murdered that guy?
Yeah, I do.
That was crazy.
I actually do. Yeah, that was crazy. He kept coming into my bedroom at night,
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
and you helped
This
me murder
was-
him.
I did.
I don't. I was going to say something about
was
statute of
2024.
limitations, but it was last
2024.
year.
Yeah, it was very recent.
And then we went back in time
Okay.
and started a podcast.
It's true.
Interesting. Oh, cool. That's fun. That's neat. Good job, guys.
3 questions.
Yeah.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
Question number 1. Let's start with Andrew. Who did you think was the best kill or death in the rule of Jenny Pin?
Well, I mean, especially after our discussion, it's tougher now. But I will say it may not have been the best death, but I really appreciated Greeley dying. He was just such a scumbag that I was like, I'm just happy you're gone. So I'm going to say Greeley.
Bryan?
I'm going to say that dude lighting himself on fire. That was probably the gnarliest, most whoa moment I had. And that wasn't even like a kill. That was just some dude accidentally lighting himself on fire, probably.
Yeah, I think both answers are very valid, and it's a tough choice because you want Dave to die the entire movie, and he finally does. But I think the fact that I find his death so anticlimactic, I also go with the old dude setting himself on fire, because this is like a little bit of a personal thing as well, because the first time I watched this movie, I kind of looked away from the TV for whatever reason. I can't remember why, but I looked away, and suddenly I hear it, and I look up, and there's this guy in a wheelchair on fire, and I was just like, "Whoa!" So that's this movie. That's what we're watching here.
Things get wild.
Question number 2, Bryan.
Hi.
Do you think the rule of Ginny Pin is scary?
Ooh, I didn't, but I think people could find it to be unnerving. I don't know if scary's. I don't feel like it's scary. So there.
Okay. Yeah. Andrew?
No, I agree with you, Bryan. I'd say the same thing. It's not scary, but it is unnerving. And, anyone that may have family or something in homes like this and are a little cautious of it, just sending someone there, this could definitely be something that makes them, think about things, I guess, and make them a little nervous.
Yeah.
What about you, Scotty?
Well, I got to say, as the resident host who is pushing 80,
Stop.
There was parts of this movie I found very scary.
You're not that young.
Thank you, Bryan. This is why we have you on. This is wonderful.
He keeps you humble.
I think, honestly, though, that was the scariest part of the movie. It wasn't Dave Creeley. It was, I think, just the idea of getting old. And I think that's a lot of what this movie is, like a very big current of what this movie is about underneath everything else. Because Geoffrey Rush is scared of losing his motor functions and everything. Like, he just thinks he's going to get better. And he's so cocky. And finally, by the end of the movie, he's kind of given in to his state of being. And yeah, so I did find that kind of unnerving, like Bryan said. I think that was a fantastic word for this movie.
Yes.
Which brings us to our last question. Andrew?
Yeah.
Did you have fun with horror?
I did. I did have fun with horror. Again,
What?
no, let me... Well, like I said, I enjoyed this movie, but watching both of those actors give stellar performances, it was fun because it was fun to watch someone that I've seen. I mean, I have seen him play very evil before, like Dexter and others, but it was fun to see someone that I have seen very kind be an awful, awful human. And then it's also great to see Geoffrey Rush just be an amazing actor again, So I had fun because I loved watching both of them do what they do best.
Bryan, what about you? Did you have fun with horror?
I hate saying no. That sounds so
can't. No,
negative,
it's
but
a
I
valid
didn't.
We've said it.
That's it for this one. Yeah, no.
Well,
but I didn't dislike what I was watching. Like, so it didn't spook me, it didn't scare me, but like I said before, it didn't really pull me in. So, of course,
it wasn't very fun for you, the movie.
I mean, yeah, not really.
I mean, obviously, being on this episode it might be fun, but
this discussion and it happens a lot of the time, and talking about the movie made me enjoy the movie a little bit more. And obviously, I enjoyed this talk a little bit. It made me definitely appreciate the movie. Again, it's still speaking.
Wait, a little bit. You enjoyed this talk a little bit? Just a little bit?
Wait, I don't know. Maybe I'm mixing up my words with what I'm talking about here. I enjoyed the movie a little bit more, and I did not enjoy this conversation.
Oh, no.
I just want to be clear. No, because I had such a good time with this. Yes, that's how we do it. We got you. But yes, no, the conversation's always fun, and it allowed me to think about the movie in a little bit of a different way and enjoy it on that aspect. But ultimately, no, I did not have fun with horror.
You know what? I'm actually going to say the same. I don't think this movie's very fun at all.
Right. Yeah.
The first time I watched the movie, I was frustrated by what I felt was kind of implausible about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the second time, it's just, to me, it is kind of a depressing movie in a way. Like,
Yeah.
I know it has a kind of a good outcome at the end until that cat comes up to Stefan. And then I'm like, why is the cat there? Why is he there?
Maybe.
And
it was
I
because-
choose to believe that the curse is broken.
I like that.
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
you
The
go.
cat's like, because the cat obviously knew what was going on. So
Exactly.
but the cat couldn't do anything. It's like, I'm a cat. What am I
Yeah.
going to do?
My
So
name's
then it's
Pluto. They even named me after a dog.
And
Oh my God. I just realized the cat's real name is Marbles, as in lost all his marbles. Perfect cat
from-
name for a cat in a care home.
like from Hook.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Hook.
from Hook.
Where's the
Gotcha.
hook? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Bryan, can you give us another air horn sound effect?
But time, it seems, has awarded me certain advantages. Be a waste not to honor that, don't you think? Claim the richness of experience that's been denied me.
So that was the rule of Jenny Pin. Thank you, Bryan, for helping us discuss that.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And now, Andrew, you mentioned that somebody special was going to be picking our next movie. So what would you, Andrew, tell us about it?
Hello.
Oh my God.
What?
That's not Andrew.
This is crazy.
Hey guys, it's me, Cindy.
It's me. It's your boy, Cindy.
What's up?
Cindy, welcome to Fun with Horror.
Thanks. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
This is fantastic. So the whole idea is that for our next movie, Andrew asked me if we could pick a special movie for Mother's Day and that you wanted to pick it. And just in case everybody doesn't know, this is Andrew's wife, Cindy, everybody. Bryan, meet Cindy.
Hi,
Cindy, Bryan.
Hi. Hello. It's a pleasure.
It's so nice
This
to
is,
meet
they,
you.
they sprung this whole skit thing on me. I just had to act. Oh, it's crazy.
So Cindy, what movie are we going to watch next for your Mother's Day episode or for our Mother's Day episode?
Okay. I'm sorry. I just had it on my phone. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this movie that I have chosen for Mother's Day is called Never Let Go. It's from 2024 and it stars Halle Berry. And
Nice.
I chose this movie because it stars a fierce mother fighting to protect her children.
Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't. I just learned about it like 10 minutes ago. So I'm
That's
really
10
excited.
minutes ago. No.
Yes.
Really? 10 minutes? Wait, no.
Yeah.
Wait, so Andrew was going to let you pick a movie even though he had no idea what movie you'd pick?
Yeah.
And you didn't even know what
Awesome.
movie you'd pick.
Yeah.
Even better.
She what if she had picked a Serbian film for real?
Oh my gosh.
That would've
You'd
been-
have to watch it.
Amazing.
Happy Mother's Day, Andrew.
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Bryan, have you seen Never Let
Hi.
Go?
I have not. I knew of it. I remember when it came out last year, but I have not
Yeah.
seen it yet. No.
I haven't either, so this is going to be new for all of us.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I watched another Halle Berry movie where something happens to her son and she has to like fight to get him back. It was so incredibly stressful. And I was like, I can't do this again. I can't watch moms fighting for their kids. But here we are. We're going to do it. Okay.
Okay. And for anybody that wants to watch this movie, it looks like at the moment it might be on Stars and some kind of streaming app called Philo. Philo, Bryan?
Oh, yeah.
Is that yours?
Is it mine? Sure. That's my streaming service. Yep. Sign up for
Bryan's
Philo.
streaming service, Philo. But of course, you can also rent or buy this movie. So, Never Let Go, starring Halle Berry. All right. All right. Well, everybody, thank you, as always, for listening to Fun with Horror. Thank you for sticking by us. And if you're still listening, thank you for listening
you.
this long. Bryan, thank you so much. Like, seriously, thank you. Thank you for
It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having
coming
me.
back.
It was a fun distraction. Good time.
And I'm glad you finally met Andrew. That was amazing.
Yes, he is real. I can attest to that. But if there's people out there that don't think I'm real, they might not think I'm saying real things. So who knows? Believe me if you want or not.
Cindy, thank you for guest hosting at the end of this episode and for picking our next movie.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
That's Brian's line. Thank you for having me.
Gosh.
That's awesome.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, that's it. That's about it. Brian, I love you.
Hi. Love you too.
I love you guys.
Cindy, we love you.
I love you so much.
And tell Andrew that we love him.
Andrew, they said that they love you. I love them. He says he loves them.
Awesome. All right.
This is fun.
Everybody, thanks for listening.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye.
One of these days.
The world breaks everyone, and afterward many are strong at the broken places. But those that will not break, it kills. It kills the very good and the very gentle and the
Knees
very
up,
brave.
Mother Brown.
Impartially.
Knees up,
If you are
Mother
none
Brown.
of these, you can be sure.
Under the table
it
you
will
must
kill
go.
you too.
E-I-E-I-E-I-O. If I catch you bending, I'll saw your legs right off. Knees up, don't let the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. Hey!